I'm Dave Kemmer. I'm the CEO and CTO at iRacing. We started this back in 2004, so we're actually older than 10 years old, but we first opened up the site to the public in 2008. It actually got started about 30 years ago when we did our first game at Papyrus, which was Indy 500. And that actually was just about 30 years ago, a little less. I was working on it 30 years ago. And that just, led to IndyCar racing, NASCAR racing. We eventually did Grand Prix Legends, and then we took that Grand Prix Legends engine and put it on NASCAR 4, NASCAR 2002, 2003. And at that point, EA got an exclusive license with NASCAR, and the company that owned us at that point, which was Vivendi Universal, decided to shut the studio down because they couldn't figure out another way to make money with the tech that we had. It was just about that time that I got connected with John Henry because he had just bought the Red Sox and come to town, and it turns out that he was a big fan of the NASCAR 2003 season. And so he came to the office just to visit one day, and we got connected. And we were talking about the fact that this was going to be shut down and what could we do with it. Certainly it didn't seem like Vivendi had an interest in using the code base, so he kind of helped us buy that code base back from them and set up iRacing, which we did in 2004. He got involved because he thought that the simulator was very cool. He just had a great time with it. In fact, he built up a league of his friends at home that, and they apparently raced so much that several of them started to suffer burnout. But no, he definitely is a dedicated sim racer.
He's typing! He's typing! He's got it! He's got it! It's a new line of code! I'll get my code.
There were a few things that we wanted to try to do when we were starting up iRacing that would be different than what we had done before. One was to make a web-based service for multiplayer. It just seemed like a natural way to be able to market and reach people directly rather than through a store or selling a box. John was very interested in building a sport, something that actually where there were rules and a sanctioning organization where it would really feel like what you're doing in the sim was meaningful. We kind of wanted to start from scratch. Using the technology that we had from Grand Prix Legends, but we started just pulling pieces of that, and we built the code base up essentially from the ground up. I think John put it as it's sort of like in the old days of Papyrus, we were selling bats and balls and gloves, and he said, hey, let's create the playground and the ball field and make the umps and turn this into something. And it's interesting because really when we started in 2008, we didn't have very much content, but it was exciting right off the bat for that very reason, that we had these rules. People could understand, hey, this is what's at stake. And at this point, 10 years in, I feel like we've really succeeded on that front. I think we've executed on that vision just as well as I could have possibly hoped we would. I've been surprised by how much progress we've made with the simulation. It blows me away when I see it. It's just like, wow, this looks really good. There's so many pieces in there and they all work. It's just really awesome. It's way beyond what we had 10 years ago. course, we have a lot of stuff that's in development, big things. We've talked about the day-night transitions, the new damage model, better sound engine. There's just a lot going on and these are bigger projects which take a while to do, but when people see them and see the results, I think they'll really be pleased with it.